Good morning. It is Tuesday, April 6th, 2021. I am Ben Weir with Octal 7, and we're going to run through some more custom AutoCAD commands. Again, these are available via download. If you go to www.octal7.com and go into the downloads area, you can download a technical preview for some of these. So again, kind of a beta version being developed here, but looking for some feedback and possibly find some bugs or errors with the commands there. So let's get started here. Let's jump over to our AutoCAD then. So first command we're going to look at here is GeoPoint. So in our AutoCAD here, I'm running AutoCAD MAP. This is AutoCAD MAP 2020, and it should work for 2021 and the newly released 2022, but I haven't officially done a lot of testing there, so just take it with a grain of salt, you know, it could be a bug. But going to run through GeoPoint on AutoCAD 2020 here. So I have a coordinate system assigned in my drawing. Of course, we see down on the status bar here, I'm working in a UTM 8312, but it should work with any projection that you need to convert coordinates to a latitude longitude with this GeoPoint command. And what it just does is allow you to easily select a point on the map in AutoCAD here. So GeoPoint, and there's some options in here for format, right? So we can go into format, and right now it's formatting to a DMS 2 decimals, right? Or we could do degrees or decimal degrees, or change the accuracy or precision that we are looking for with the degrees, minutes, seconds. I'm just going to stick with the current value there, and let's just come over here on the map. And this is in Medicine Hat, Police Point Park here. If we click a point here, we should see that it's going to spit out a little bit of information on the command line here. So just stretch that up. So we have latitude and longitude there formatted with the degrees, minutes, seconds to 2 decimal points. But if I, and there is an elevation value that could come in, but with this demo, it's not turned on here. So just going to do this again, format, and I'm going to do decimal degrees here. Let's go to 6 decimals. And so if I click a point here, again in this Police Point Park area, just going to pick on this area here today, we should get the value formatted or displayed and formatted in the command line here, right? So this is very handy to take a little bit of information. So taking some information from AutoCAD here, and we need to get those, just a text value, right? So we want to just copy that out into, say, Word or Excel or some other document, right? So very quick, easy way to do that. Get it out of AutoCAD here. And just going to check one thing here. Yeah, all right. Next command. Let's cut back to AutoCAD. Next command I want to look at is GeoPoint Plus. So same idea as the GeoPoint, but it allows us to put things into properties, so drawing properties. So let's just look at the drawing properties here. We have 2 drawing properties that have already been created. So if they are created in the drawing, great. If they're not in there, the command will automatically create them based on settings that it has stored in there. So when I do GeoPoint Plus, same idea, we have options in here for formatting, and we can determine, of course, if we want to change that formatting, we can change that. So let's just do that. Let's do format, and let's go back to DMS 2 decimals. Oops, helps if I type that correct. DMS 2 decimals, there we are. And now when we pick a point, it doesn't put anything onto the command line here for us. It just tells us that it updated the field for the latitude and updated the field for the longitude. And it even has some tie-ins for viewports. Again, that feature is not enabled here, so it's not going to update any viewports, but it did update those fields for us. So if we go into the DWG props and we have a look there, we should see that the format or those fields have been applied. Now, actually, one other thing here too is this formatting is different than what was in my command there. So one thing there is a GeoPoint field or fields. Here we are, GeoPoint Fields. Oh, I got a error in that still, got a bug there. But that would allow us to assign the fields and the formatting in that command there. So we can have different formatting applied to the fields versus what we could get on our command line. So bug, again, this is some stuff that's in development. I'll have to make a note of that and fix that. All right, moving on back into AutoCAD here. I want to look at GeoPoint Web. So this one I like, GeoPoint Web. Just type that in, and I have an air photo loaded up, or actually it's a number of air photos loaded up here, orthomosaics, created from it's a open source essentially, or open data municipal data sharing portal that I got these from. But if you don't have access to that, or maybe you're in a drawing and you're not quite sure that you have things in the correct location, I find this GeoPoint Web command is kind of useful here to browse to a website such as Google Map or Bing or whatever. I'm just going to click on the address here just so you can see the format. So this is the current value that's being put in there. So we're going to HTTPS and the semicolon / and the www.google.ca I'm going to here, and I'm going to maps, and then this is all just being coded from what we would use on Google Map, but whatever code you want to use for Bing or some other web portal or whatever, like a web map, right? You could use that. And then we have a couple of codes in here for the latitude and longitude values, and I put in this 18Z there for like a zoom factor on the map. So I'm just going to escape out of that. So when I click on my map here, again, I have air photos loaded, but if I didn't, it'll open up my web browser and come to my location here, of course, being Police Point, and it had my zoom factor there of 18. I zoomed out here, so that ruined it, of course, but you should be able to pick on any location in your AutoCAD then, and then open it up into your web browser. So let's do that again here. I'm just going to hit enter to repeat, and let's go over to the athletic park area here with the baseball diamond in Medicine Hat. So let's just click on the diamond here, the baseball diamond here in the field. Click on that, and it's going to open up a new web tab here, or web browser tab, and it zooms in to that latitude longitude and that 18 zoom factor there, right? And of course, if I wanted satellite imagery, I could change that URL that it uses in there, and it would load up automatically my web browser with the satellite image. So I'm just using the default road view here, but it should be able to use any any web address in here that's going to take a latitude and longitude for you. All right, let's just zoom back over to Police Point here. And the last command that I want to go through here is a command called GeoPoints. So what this allows me to do is select either like AutoCAD points or blocks or polylines. So I'm just going to put in some points here, just some random points essentially. Let's put in a polyline. Actually, let's get rid of this one and let's just do kind of around center of the South Saskatchewan River here. Turn off some snaps. There we are, something like that, right? And then when we do GeoPoints, it allows us to select objects. So I'm going to select my points and I'm going to pick this polyline. So we can select a multitude of objects here, hit enter, and what it does is it takes the coordinate values from our geometry, in this case those points, and if I scroll down here you'll get into like this 12.0, 12.1. Those are coming from the polyline. Each vertex on the polyline, these guys here would all have been the points, those AutoCAD points. And it just converts them to a latitude, longitude. The default I have set up right now, just that everything goes to 2 decimal points. Not really useful though. So let's just right click on the column heading there and change that to 6 decimals. Let's change this also to 6 decimals there. So it converted everything into the LL84 coordinate system there. And that's just the way it's set up by default to do that. The elevations, of course, all came in as 0. Now, I have a button in here that allows us to go grab elevation data. And this is set up to grab elevation data from the Google Elevation API. So if you are going to use this, you need an elevation API key. I can give further instructions on how to get that and configure this in AutoCAD here for you as well, but for this video I'm going to leave that out. So I'm just going to click on that button and it does a little processing there for a second. It sends out the web request there to the Google Elevation API and it comes back with the elevations for these latitudes and longitudes. And it gives you a little summary message here at the end as well. So it just tells you the highest elevation and the lowest elevation and the delta value in there as well. So about 4.5 meters difference between the highest and the lowest there. So this relies on any of the data, of course, that's in the Google Elevation API. So whatever the accuracy and precision is that you get out of that, a lot of the elevation data is interpolated because it's spread over a wide area. Let's just shrink this up a little bit. And of course, then you're just left at the mercy of the terrestrial or terrain model that's in the Google map, essentially, or the Google Elevation API. But it does give you some interesting data to get as a starting point to start working with building models and kind of doing a little bit of virtual scouting that way as well. A couple other things on this guy here with the GeoPoints pellet. We can save out or export the points. So if I click on this guy, it'll come up with a little browser and we can save it out to wherever we want for just a CSV file it creates. We can convert the values. So right now they are in the LL84. Like I said, this is the default that it's configured to, but if we wanted to convert this into something else, we could pick another coordinate system. So anything that's in the library with AutoCAD. Sorry, one moment here. I'm just going to take a quick pause. And I'm back. All right, so any of the coordinate systems in here, so we can have access to the full library that's packaged in AutoCAD map, or if you're working in Civil 3D or whatever, right? One other thing here, being able to search. So if I needed to search UTM 83-12, let's say I needed to actually convert it to back to whatever coordinates are in the drawing here, I can just type that in the search and apply that. So I'm not going to bother converting these at the moment. I'm just going to click cancel. There are some things in here for calculations. I'm not going to go through any of these. Some of these are functioning, some of them are not, so I'm not going to worry about that. But if I do something like invert elevation, let's say, it's just going to essentially multiply everything by -1, right? Let's see, stretch this a little bit bigger maybe. Here we are. Just format that so we can see a little bit more. So if you have something like, if you had data or points or whatever that had elevations that were inverted, essentially, it's a nice easy way to be able to multiply that by the -1 and invert it the correct way or whatever it might be for you. Copy coordinates, kind of fun there. You can copy out the value, and let's just go over to the layout here. And if I do Control V, it should paste in some text there. Of course, this is all just comma and space delimited. So it takes all of the coordinates here that are in the list. If you notice, it only copies out the latitude and longitudes. It does not include the Z. So just delete that. So if you needed to build a text file or something with the coordinates, it's easy to get that data out of there. Something else you can do is reinsert points. So if I went into a blank drawing, let's say, and let's assign the coordinate system here. And I'll go with the UTM 83-12. And you'll see here that this is where converting might come in handy if I've assigned a new coordinate system here. Because if I just do points, click that guy, it'll tell me 26 points inserted, and zoom here. But you'll see that the coordinates here, right? If you notice on the command line down there, right? The values are all in latitudes, longitudes, right? So it doesn't reconvert them when it just inserts the points or the blocks or anything like that. So you need to be aware that reconvert them. So like I might want to export the CSV first, right? And then convert to my northing and easting values here, right? So let's go to the UTM 83-12. And it will reconvert them. And then if I insert the points here, should tell me 26 points inserted. But now these guys should all be in the correct location now, right? So if I turn on my GeoMap, AutoCAD GeoMap command, and let's just do the aerial. Give that a second, it should load up here. There we are. And let's just change that P type here. Something a little more visible. There we are. There's the points, right? So, of course, the polyline, it just inserted those points at each vertex, right, along the polyline. It doesn't do anything like joining line work or anything like that. It just creates those points there for you. I'm going to jump back to my demo file here. And you can also do some stuff like inserting like point blocks. So if I don't think I have any blocks in this file here, really nothing much of use. But if you had a point block, something similar to like a block for a Kogo point, you could insert that. Or if you had a block for some rows or something, you could insert kind of like a table, right? Using blocks for rows, or you should be able to insert just a straight AutoCAD table here as well. So if I click on that guy, some formatting may be required depending on the size of your table style and everything, and the size of text, right? So this here needs to be reformatted a little bit. So stretch, let's stretch that over a bit here. A little bit more. And let's grab the property palette here. Just going to change the table height here so that it fits nicer. There we are. So it is a handy little tool also to build some quick coordinate tables. You can see here too, it doesn't keep, at least currently, it doesn't keep the formatting. It just comes in with raw values. So that's one of those things that'll be improved or implemented here in time, where it'll actually format the columns to the correct number of decimals that match the interface here, right? So if I'm showing 2 decimals, well, actually maybe, yeah, no, I don't have that. If I'm showing 2 decimals, like I was showing 2 decimals on the elevation, but it came in with many more, right? So these are things that are still in some of the development here. So I'd have to format the data here. Bring this window over. So currently I just have to format this to the precision that I'm looking for, right? But after some more development, it should be applying the settings that are on whatever's on the settings here, right, from the palette or the data grid in the palette. So if I set 2 decimals, it'll apply that formatting to the table. Currently, that's in development there. So that's about all I wanted to run through this morning with some of the commands. So just to backtrack there, we looked at the GeoPoint, the GeoPoint Plus, GeoPoint Fields, some development still going on there, and the GeoPoints, that's the palette here that we were working with last, and the GeoPoint Web command there as well. So I hope that you found some of that interesting. Please go do the download, give me some feedback. If you find bugs or whatever, again, I'd love to get some feedback and find out what isn't working, like things that I might have overlooked with some of my development. And if you see something like a feature improvement or something like that, or maybe you have a request for a custom command, reach out, contact at octal7.com. So send an email, and I can put something on the wish list. Maybe it'll appear up in a future technical preview or beta. Thanks for joining this morning. Again, I'm Ben Weir with Octal7, and I hope you have a great day.